All right, aviators, welcome back to another edition of my flying. This is the RCP SU-35 V5. This is my second version of the plane. If you look back through my videos, you'll see the first one was a black and white and gray camouflage. And it flew really well, flat and level. It was very stable. I could fly real slow. But as soon as I went into high alpha, it was terrible. I'm pretty sure it was a build problem. The flew great, but it just didn't want to do what I wanted it to do. So this one's gonna be me trying to do more of a high alpha. I built this with 2 cell in mind. And so let's do a walk around of the controls and we'll talk about the equipment as we go. All right, so back with the controls. It's got your standard elevon mix. Right now we're on low rates. So elevator goes up and down, and then aileron. You get the mix with the elevator and the ailerons moving together, and it's got a standard rudder. Let's see if I can get it better. It's set at 15 degrees right now for the rudder, and with low rates it's also set for 15 degrees for the elevator and for the aileron. If we flip into high rates, I've got one for elevator and one for aileron. We go up to 30 degrees deflection, up and down, and then left and right, and the rudder stays the same. I have a switch that will switch it to a normal mix, so elevators up and down and ailerons just for left and right. And that also is set up on high rates and low rates. So we go back to the standard park jet configuration with elevons. I've also mixed in some flaps. So if you're looking at the aileron, drops down about 25 degrees. And then I can level it back out. It's got 2-second transition in between, and it can go up too for like a spoiler on. This plane also does have the leading edge flap. One of the problems that I thought I had with the last one is that it was a little too flexible. So you can see I have I've got 2 horizontal stiffeners, one there and one there. I've got one along the leading edge flap. I've got one on the aileron right here. The rudders, if you watch my last video with a different plane, my rudders collapsed on each other. But difference on this one is that the carbon fiber rod goes all the way through it and goes all the way down into the bottom. So that one carbon fiber rod goes all the way up the tail, so it's held through the wing plate, makes it much more stable, much more rigid. And also, if you look where it meets the nacelles, it's 2 pieces of foam glued together. Here's a little better picture of the carbon rods. 2 going across as the wing plate stiffeners, 1 aileron, and 1 leading edge flap. So for servos, I'm running 2 5 grams for aileron and elevators. So that's 4 total, and I have a 5th 5 gram in the back for my rudder control. And as you can see, there's the rudder. 4 electronics on the inside. I've got my Lemon RC receiver in there, 6 channel. I've got a Turnigy 30 amp plush ESC in there. And I have your standard park jet, the Turnigy 28, 26, 6, 2200, and it's a 738 slow fly prop. And for the battery, way up front, because of my positioning of my servos, I've got the 1800 in there, 3 cell, which is exactly the same weight as my 2200 2 cell. That was not intentionally, but it worked out. As you can see here, the plane itself is 400 grams, 14 1/8 ounces with no battery. And if you add in the battery, 2200 2 cell and the 1800 3 cell is right at 19 ounces. And with the 2200 3 cell, it's 21 ounces. So like I mentioned, this plane was built for the slow fly, high alpha purposes. It's pretty light. Even on the 3 cell 1800, it's still only 19 ounces. So until we get some better weather, I was coming to fly today, but it's a little too cruddy out. So until next time, see ya.